Hey there makers, it's Bree here at Minerva. I am back with another color season analysis capsule wardrobe, and this time we are highlighting the spring color palette. So today I'll share more about the aspects of color that determine a person's color season. We'll chat a little bit about color theory as well as the spring color season itself. Then I will share how I planned a capsule wardrobe using the spring color palette before we dive into some sewing project ideas. So if you are just joining us for this series, we are doing a capsule wardrobe kind of to serve as foundational wardrobe pieces. So capsule wardrobes are typically a set of interchangeable garments that all go together and serve a specific purpose, sometimes travel or workwear. But in this case, we are using the capsule system to create a wardrobe basis, highlighting the best and most versatile colors for someone with spring coloring. So for planning to sew a capsule wardrobe, I like to break it down into 5 steps. So first we're going to determine the context. So if the capsule wardrobe is around a specific event or a season, that's going to help determine which kind of garments to include. And next we'll establish the color palette, which here in this case we will be diving deep into the spring color season analysis. And from there, it's time to browse fabrics, and then with fabrics chosen, it's time to find patterns. So the 5 steps are context, garment types, color palette, fabrics, and patterns. For this capsule collection, the context is wardrobe foundations. So instead of planning around a specific time of year or an event, we're going to be looking at key pieces that can be utilized in multiple ways throughout the year to create lots of different kinds of outfits and that provide some basic scaffolding for building a curated personal style. Now, because we're focusing on these key pieces, we want to build a strong color palette around the most versatile colors. And this is where color season analysis is going to be really helpful, because I believe that the most versatile colors are not necessarily neutrals, but rather they're the colors that make you feel your best, and the color season analysis can really help determine that. So looking at foundational wardrobe pieces, I like to include a couple of knit tops, so usually a t-shirt as well as something a little bit more elevated that's just as comfy, as well as a woven blouse and a button-up shirt. Then for bottoms, I always like to have a nice, clean, simple trouser and either a knee-length or midi-length skirt. Some kind of layering piece is going to be very important to kind of tie all these pieces together and complete the outfit. Good options could be like a cardigan, a jacket, a blazer, or a trench. And lastly, I like to include 1 or 2 dress options, ideally something that can be worn multiple ways for a variety of different occasions. And now with these garments kind of decided very loosely, I make a little note for myself on what kinds of fabrics to look for later. So I usually prefer cotton, linen, or viscose for tops, skirts, and dresses, jersey for t-shirts, and bottom weights for trousers and jackets. So I'll set those notes aside for now as we look into the color palette, and for that we will turn to color season analysis. So the goal for a capsule wardrobe is to have a small collection of items that you can pair in many ways and mix and match with other items. So forming a contained color palette is really key here. There's lots of different ways to do this, but for this video, we're going to start with the spring color season analysis to inform our color palette by exploring first which colors best complement someone with spring coloring. If you're not familiar with the color season analysis, it is basically a formula to help find the colors that best complement your natural coloring by accounting for the undertones of the skin as well as the tones of the hair and the eyes. This analysis can be divided up into seasons, but it's also sometimes referred to as tonal assignment. They're the same thing. Generally, I prefer to use the seasons titles because it's a little easier to just remember like one main term than all of the specific tonal qualifications, but we will get into those as well. Now, before we dive in, I do have a big caveat with all style and fashion formulas and advice. It is this. I truly believe that we should all be free to wear whatever brings us the most joy. If you love a garment, a color, a print, or a style, you will look amazing in it, whether it fits you on paper according to color season, Kiba score, or any other kind of style advice. At the end of the day, the goal is to make and wear things that we love and make us feel confident and present. I do think that learning about complementary colors does serve as a good baseline for building and developing that personal style and to find those things that you feel great wearing. I always like to say, I don't think of color season analysis as hard and fast rules, but they're really just some soft guidelines to help you find what makes you feel your best. So there are lots of books and articles and consultants that can help you determine the undertones in your skin, as well as the tones of the hair and eyes. From there, that would put you into a color season. There's tons of theory and science that go into these processes. Obviously, I can't go into all of that in this video today, but I will kind of highlight a couple of terms that are going to be really helpful moving forward. So tonal assignment is made up of 4 aspects of color. So we have value, hue, chroma, and contrast. Value is how light or dark a color is. Hue refers to the temperature spectrum of color, ranging from blue, cool hues, to yellow, warm hues. Chroma is how much a color is grayed out, so muted, or pure toned and bright. Contrast is how multiple colors look against each other, and where you rank on value, hue, chroma, and contrast is totally unique and can really help determine how certain colors are going to make you feel. This capsule is focused around a spring color analysis. So folks with spring coloring typically have lighter features, warmer undertones, a bright chroma, and high contrast features. So what's really great about tonal assignment is that we can directly apply those qualities to the colors that we're looking for to suit someone with spring coloring. So we're going to look at light, warm, bright colors with high contrast in mind. So I will say that spring here is a little bit confusing as a term because I think in our cultural orientation, spring colors tend to be very pastel centric. And while many pastels are light, they're usually muted rather than bright and have kind of softer or lower contrast. And that's not wrong to call them that. I use those terms all the time when talking about seasonal style and trends. But for this video, to avoid any further confusion, spring here is going to refer to colors that are light, warm, and bright within the color analysis and tonal assignment. To combat any Eastery associations, I like to think of the spring color palette like a tropical sunset. So you have in the sky these bright purples, pinks, coral, and tangerine, a sunshiny yellow, some grass green, turquoise and blue water, blue sky. They're really, really bright, and the spring color palette doesn't incorporate as many neutrals as many of the other seasons. So warm white or soft gray could be good options. You could either bring in a darker neutral like navy or charcoal, either perhaps on the bottom half or as smaller accents in an outfit. And then beyond the colors themselves, another thing that's really important to consider is contrast. So spring is all about high contrast, really getting those bright boldness. So you'll want to lean into dynamic prints and bold outfit pairings with lots of definition. So with the parameters of our color palette loosely mapped out, and that list of fabric types to keep in mind, this is where we start the fabric search to really hone in planning this capsule wardrobe. So because spring really likes high contrast, I started by browsing in prints. The Minerva exclusive collection has so many bright, bold, beautiful prints, and I want to show you the one that I ended up kind of making a cornerstone for this capsule. I love it when I find a multicolor print, and this one made it really easy to just pull the colors out and form a color palette. So this is the Minerva exclusive Orchard Charm, and it is so gorgeous with these beautiful little fruit trees here. This is basically the spring palette represented in the fruit trees. We have some red cherries, some pink pomegranates, tangerine orange, lemon yellow, a green pear. I chose to focus in on the fuchsia pink, lemon yellow, and coral orange for this. They definitely represent the color principles we're looking at. They're light, warm, and bright. And then for a little more contrast, I opted for this darker leafy green rather than the light green of the pear. Because it's neutral, both in value and temperature, but still has a bright chroma that is going to give us a little bit more definition. So that's why I chose the Kelly green, the fuchsia pink, lemon yellow, and coral orange from this print. For the rest of my browsing, I used 2 tools on the Minerva site that are really, really helpful: the filters and the favorites. So I always talk about how much I love using filters for browsing. I really think a key to creativity is the ability to edit and whittle things down. So with my color palette sorted and my list of fabric types, I used the filters on the left-hand side to distill my browsing to only include the color, fiber, and fabric types that I was looking for. Secondly, I used the favorites function to create myself a little digital swatch collection. So when you click the little star button on a product, you can sort it into your favorites into collections. So this is really great for browsing and editing, but especially for creating a capsule wardrobe. You can see everything all together and eliminate anything that doesn't quite fit. So this makes the process a bit more concrete, and I think really makes online shopping a lot easier. So here is what I ended up choosing. I will go into more detail when I share the actual projects, but for now you can kind of see them together. And of course, all of the fabrics and patterns will be linked below later. So for my tops, I have this blonde yellow Ecovero viscose crepe from Mind the Maker. I have a fuchsia striped cotton jersey from the Minerva core range. Another one from the Minerva core range, this is the bamboo cotton jersey in the color golden. And then a vintage check gingham, also from Minerva core range, and this one is in the color emerald. And for our bottoms, of course, I'm using the Minerva exclusive Orchard Charm as our skirt. And then another Minerva exclusive, this one is the Meadow Melody cotton twill for a pair of trousers. Now, the only true neutral tone in this collection is this one. It's the Mind the Maker Etta washed denim in this lovely buttercream color. And then lastly, I have another beautifully bold print from the Minerva exclusive collection, and it is the Carnation Carnival Organic Cotton Sateen. So to better kind of imagine how you might build an outfit, I've divided up the tops and the bottoms, and I'm just gonna kind of cheekily try to drape. Oh, the silk is really silky. So I'm just kind of gonna put this bottom here and this one here. So in the skirt, we're gonna have like all of these colors. Everything is gonna match really beautifully. So we have like the little lemons, and this blonde yellow is gonna be really cute. I love a green and gold together. That is one of my absolute favorite analogous color combinations. So that is gonna be really cute as well. And then I love the like pink pomegranates and the pink stripe. I think this is a really fun, bold combination. A small, like thin stripe like this, or a thin check like this one here, are really great to mix and match with some bolder botanical prints. I like that we've kept the scale of the stripe and the check here really small and thin, and that makes it a really good balance with these bigger prints. So I think this one is going to be so cute with both of these. This is a really nice complementary color match, so I love that. This orange is, well, it's almost like an apricot corally color. Very cute with our little oranges there, and I love it with the green. It's really nice and punchy. And then lastly, we have this, and I love this like gingham and then the fruit combination. I think that is really like homey and organic, but feels really like punchy and modern at the same time. And then these greens are like a perfect match. So that's a really fun, like monochrome type outfit. With our fabrics chosen, the last step for planning the capsule wardrobe is to decide on patterns. Now, instead of browsing all of the patterns at once, I use the filters again, only to search for patterns one project at a time. And then for each style, I also incorporated the fabric type. So I filter based on if the fabric is a knit or a woven. So I'm only getting patterns relevant to the fabrics I have already chosen. So I picked the Octavia blouse by Sew Me Something, the Emery top from Style Arc, the Friday Pattern Company square neck top, the Vernon shirt from Cashmerette, the Assembly Line 3-pleat skirt, the Dawn jeans by Megan Nielsen, the Closet Core Sienna jacket, and the Named Clothing Lexi dress. So to plan the capsule wardrobe for sewing, we looked at our context, the garment types we'd use. We established a color palette based on the spring color season analysis, chose fabrics, and decided on patterns. So let's get into all the sewing details. We're starting off with our tops, and the first one is the blouse, for which I have chosen this gorgeous Leia Ecovero viscose crepe from Mind the Maker. It comes in 13 colors, and this one is called Blonde Yellow. It is just a beautifully warm, bright lemon yellow. It looks like sunshine. It is 100% EcoVero viscose, which means that it is viscose that's produced in a closed-loop system. So both the product itself as well as the manufacturing process meet really high standards for quality and have lower environmental impact. So even though it is very lightweight as a fabric, it has a really nice hand to it and really wonderful drape. It's almost like a heavy, kind of bouncy quality to it, which is going to be really nice to wear. And of course, it's got that really beautiful crepe texture to it. It would sew up really nicely as like a flowy dress or a skirt, as well as tops, tanks, and blouses. I feel like folks with spring coloring need like bold, dramatic pieces. So when I was looking for a blouse in this solid viscose crepe, I knew that I wanted to have something with a little extra flair for it. So when I found the Octavia blouse by Sew Me Something, it was the exact match I was looking for. There are 2 views and each have a round neckline, a center front button placket, and French darts for shaping. So version 1 has a puff sleeve that finishes either in a binding or with some elastic, depending on your preference. And it features this incredible asymmetrical frill. It's anchored in the neck binding and at the button placket. It is absolutely what sold me on this design. It is really like unique and modern and has a very like arty vibe that I love. Now, if you're not into the asymmetrical look, the version 2 has a plain front and then a gathered flutter sleeve for its own little dose of drama. The Octavia blouse comes in 2 size envelopes, so the Mrs. range contains sizes 6 to 20, covering hips 33 to 46 inches, and the Curvy range contains sizes 20 to 30 for hips measuring 50 to 63.5 inches. It is aimed at improving beginners, so the main construction is fairly straightforward with just 1 set of darts for shaping, but beginners can really grow their skills with the button placket and buttonholes, as well as the gathering at the shoulder and for that statement ruffle. Octavia was designed for lightweight woven fabrics, so for more drama in that puff sleeve and the ruffle, fabrics like cotton poplin, linen, and even like organza could be really good options. If you're looking for kind of a softer, flowier vibe, look for fabrics like silk, tencel, or viscose like this one. I love bringing that bold ruffle into something with a solid fabric. I think it could be really impactful, but still feel balanced and versatile. Next up is our tee, and this is our really cute striped cotton jersey from the Minerva core range. It is 95% cotton and 5% elastane with 50% crossways and lengthwise stretch. I'd say it's a little bit on the lighter side for a cotton jersey, which to me means it's going to be a little bit more softer and flexible, so perfect for a t-shirt. This one comes in 21 colors, ranging from muted to bright, all with this kind of off-white ivory. It's a pretty like bright white base, I would say. I chose the fuchsia because I wanted something bright with lots of contrast, but the orange or the cobalt would have worked really well for this collection as well. I think the thinner stripe is a really chic take on that like classic Breton look, but is a bit more versatile, I think, than the full-on bold stripe. Like I said, it's perfect for tees, but would also be really cute as like a dress or a skirt with some fullness or gathers to it. For a capsule wardrobe, I always like to include a t-shirt that is better than basic. So for this fuchsia stripe cotton jersey, I chose the Style Arc Emery top. So the body is your classic semi-fit crew neck t-shirt, but then it's got this really fun like leg of mutton style sleeve. It's got gathering at the shoulder and then slims down the arm to the wrist. It has all of like the comfort and styling ease of your favorite t-shirt, but with some added like edge and drama to it. So Emery comes in sizes 4 to 30, which is a 32.5 to 61 inch hip, and that's split across 3 sizing envelopes. So the splits include overlapping sizes, which is really great if you are on the edge of one of those ranges and need to grade between sizes. So the 4 to 16 range covers hips 32.5 to 44.5 inches. The 10 to 32 range is for hips 38.5 to 51 inches, and the 18 to 30 envelope is for hips 46.5 to 61 inches. If you've got a couple of knit tops under your belt, you will just breeze through sewing the Emery tee. It is a classic t-shirt construction with a stretched in neckband. The only difference is that instead of stretching the sleeves in the flat, you'll do some gathering stitches and gather that right into the sleeve head to get that nice puff. For the Emery top, you'll need jersey or sweater knit. So viscose tencel and ITY jersey are gonna drape really nicely. But if you want that shoulder gathering to kind of pop, you'll want to use something with more structure like a Ponte Roma, an interlock, or a cotton jersey like this one. I think these stripes are just so cute and will really like make that cool puff sleeve for a very comfy yet put together top. So I am of the opinion that you can never have too many knit tops. So I've included another one in this collection, and I have my favorite jersey fabric to share with you. It is the Minerva Core Range Bamboo Cotton Jersey. So this one is made of 68% bamboo, 28% cotton, and 5% elastane. I think it's the perfect blend. It has 70% stretch both horizontally and vertically. It's absolutely magical. It's got like all of the drape that you would expect from that bamboo, but the cotton content gives it kind of a steadier hand as well as a bit more body and added durability. So it washes and wears really well. It feels really good on the skin. Like I said, it's my personal favorite. It comes in 25 colors. I have most of them either hanging in my wardrobe or folded up in my fabric stash waiting to be sewn up. This color is a beautiful coral and it is called Golden. It's got lovely drape and excellent recovery. This fabric is perfect for regular tees as well as like a slinky knit skirt, drapey dresses, little sweaters, and lots of different kinds of tops. To go with the Minerva Core Range Bamboo Cotton Jersey, I have picked a top with a very laid back vibe, but also some very cool style lines for a bit of intentionality. It is the Friday Pattern Company square neck top. It's a very cute, slightly cropped boxy top with some grown-on sleeves and a curved hem. Of course, the main feature here is the beautifully clean square neckline. The square neck top comes in sizes extra small to 7X, which is for hips measuring 34 to 63 inches. It also comes with 2 bust options to help you achieve a better fit across the front. It is great for advancing beginners. There's only 3 pattern pieces, so you'll zip right through it. Another thing that I love about this pattern is that it can be made in both woven and knit fabrics, so it's really versatile. If you go the woven route, look for lightweight wovens like cotton lawn, cotton chambray, lightweight linen, viscose challis. For knits, you could go for something with more structure like an interlock or a cotton jersey, or the drapier route with knits like tencel, viscose, or ITY. This bamboo jersey is perfect. Now you do want to note that you'll need to have the right interfacing for a knit garment to get that nice clean neckline. My favorite is the Vlisolina H609. I'll link it below. It's a stretch interfacing that is the perfect weight for jersey fabric and is really important for slinky jerseys like this one. I think it's the secret to having a really polished jersey project. I use it on all of my shoulder seams to prevent stretching and even on my hem allowances so that I get a really clean finish every time. Now I know that's kind of a bit of a tangent, but seriously, go get yourself some H609. It will level up your sewing game. So I really love the idea of a square neck top in this fabric. I think it would be a really easy piece to like style up and down thanks to that chic, clean neckline and the softness of this bamboo jersey. The last of the tops is a button front shirt, and I have here the Minerva Core Range 1/4 inch check vintage gingham. It is a yarn dyed 100% cotton, and this is the emerald colorway, but it does come in 15 other colors as well. I absolutely love a classic gingham. I almost view it as like a neutral, even though it is obviously a pattern, but especially a small check like this is just really nice and understated, but brings a layer of personality to an outfit. Texture-wise, it has a really steady hand. It's somewhere between like a lawn and a poplin. It's a little bit more textured. It has some good body to it, so it's gonna hold its shape in a pattern that has gathering or like crisp corners that you want really precise, but it's got some movement to it as well, so it's gonna fall really nicely around the body. It is lightweight and ever so slightly sheer. If you're making a dress or a skirt, you might consider lining it depending on the shape of the skirt. Now, this fabric is a really great choice also for tops, blouses, and shirts. For the 1/4 inch vintage gingham, I have chosen the Cashmerette Vernon shirt. This is such a great pattern containing both like a classic button-up style and a version that has a bit more of a twist. For both views, the bodice is shaped with bust darts. It's fitted through the shoulders with a back yoke and a box pleat. View A is your traditional shirt with a standard collar. It's got a dipped hem and sleeves that gather nicely into a thin binding cuff. View B gets a little bit fancier with some vintage inspired blousey details. It has a really cool like lantern piece at the wrist that creates some volume and ends in a nice deep cuff. It's also got a hidden button placket and an oversized collar. The Vernon shirt comes in Cashmerette's full 0 to 32 size range. So each size also comes with 3 bust shape options, as well as a full and a standard bicep fit for the sleeve. The size range is split across 2 envelopes. So the 0 to 16 sizes are for hips 35 to 46 inches, and the 12 to 32 range is for hips 42 to 62 inches. It's an intermediate pattern. There's a lot of patience and precision needed for shirt details like sewing the collar, the button placket, and the cuffs. Most light to medium weight woven fabrics will work well for the Vernon, and it's best to look for something with a little bit of body since most of these details are going to really shine in a crisp fabric. So cottons like lawn, shirting, chambray, poplin, and ginghams like this one are going to work really, really well, as well as like linen and linen blends. I think either version of the Vernon shirt in this vintage gingham would be so cool. You could go for like the classic view if you plan on using it as a layering piece to kind of wear open, or you could go the blousey route with those lantern sleeves and that 70s collar. Either way, I think a gingham colored button-up shirt is a big wardrobe win. So that brings us to bottoms, and I have a skirt and a pair of trousers. Starting with the skirt and the fabric that inspired the color palette for this collection, I have the Minerva exclusive Orchard Charm. This print is available on our organic cotton sateen or on the silk satin, which is what I have here. It is 100% silk. It is absolutely divine. It is just so smooth, and it's got a lovely sheen on the right side here. Now the back is a bit more matte, and it's got more stability there, which is really nice. It's a great weight with some really nice body. It's gonna just cut and press really, really nicely. And the colors, like I've already gushed about them, but they are so vibrant and bright with this cute tree, fruit tree motif in the print. It's really a versatile fabric. You could use it for tops and blouses. Some wide leg trousers would be amazing, dresses of course, and jumpsuits, and definitely for a skirt. So I have gone for the assembly line 3-pleat skirt to pair with the Orchard Charm silk satin. I knew that I wanted something to show off the unique print as well as the beautiful structure of this fabric, and the 3-pleat skirt is a really good fit. It has a beautiful A-line silhouette with a really nice amount of volume in the skirt. The details of this pattern are pretty much in the name. It features 3 deep distinctive pleats at the front. It's a midi skirt designed to hit below the knee. And it has a wide waistband, closes at the zip on the left side, and then the right side has an inseam pocket. The 3-pleat skirt comes in sizes extra small to large and extra large to 3XL. So the extra small to large envelope covers hips measuring 35.5 to 45 inches. And then the extra large to 3XL is for hips measuring 46.5 to 54.5 inches. It's suitable for advancing beginners. Assembly line patterns are known for leveling up basic sewing techniques to create some really quality finishes on the final garment. So even though it's kind of a simpler construction, it can be a great skill builder pattern. The 3-pleat skirt was designed for medium to heavyweight fabrics, so you'll want to look for bottom weights. Now, a casual skirt, you can do fabrics like cotton twill, linen, denim, corduroy. Those are really good options. And for something a bit fancier, you could go for fabrics like brocade or jacquard, or like a silk satin like this one. I think this one paired with the slinky like Octavia blouse that we had earlier and some heels would be such a knockout look. But you could also pair it with like a simple white tee and white trainers for a chic casual outfit. It's such a stunning fabric, a really great pattern, and you'd have so many outfit possibilities. We've been seeing statement trousers trending the last couple of seasons, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's a really great opportunity to play with bold, high contrast prints like this one. This is the Minerva exclusive Meadow Melody, and this print comes on several base cloths, including this lovely cotton twill. This is a non-stretch 100% cotton with a really lovely twill weave. It is soft enough that it's going to mold to your body over time, but still is nice, like sturdy and durable. This Kelly green and the white floral is really, really cute. It has almost like a hand-stamped feel to it, which is very like whimsical, but then the bright contrast is very punchy and modern. I think that opens it up to a lot of different styling possibilities. The weight of this cotton twill is really good for structured dresses, for pinafores and dungarees, jackets, and of course a pair of trousers. Since our Meadow Melody cotton twill is really similar to denim, I have opted for a jeans pattern. So the Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans is a tried and true pattern for so many sewists. The Dawn is a high-rise, non-stretch jean that comes in 3 full-length leg options, tapered, straight, and wide, as well as a shorts variation. Each view has the classic 5-pocket design, a button front fly, belt loops, and a back yoke for shaping. It is fitted through the waist and along the hip. The printed Dawn jeans come in sizes 0 to 20, covering hips 34 to 48 inches. It also includes pattern pieces for tall, regular, and cropped lengths. Megan Nielsen rates this pattern a 3 out of 5 for difficulty. If you've never done a button fly before, I would recommend doing a little practice run or a toile before sewing up your final jeans. But other than that, the pattern is really a set of straight seams, so don't be too intimidated about making jeans. The Dawn jeans were, of course, designed for denim, but they also work really well in other non-stretch bottom weight fabrics. So corduroy, canvas, and cotton twill like this Meadow Melody will work really, really well. I love the idea of this fabric in the straight leg view. I think you could turn up the cuff for some more contrast because the inside is white. I think that would be really cute. Again, you could do some white trainers and a tee for something simple and cute, but you could also pair it with like a loafer or a heel and a blouse for a more dressy look. Next up, I have our jacket, and the only true neutral in this collection is the Mind the Maker Etta washed denim. It is 100% cotton and also features a lovely twill weave. It is 240 grams per meter, which is a really nice medium weight. It comes in 3 blue washes as well as a black and this cream. Now I love this color. It is like the color of buttercream frosting. It is just like the slightest yellow undertone that warms it up a bit and makes it a really nice white for this spring color palette. It is a wash denim, which means it is coming to you pre-softened, like you've broken it in, like you've had it forever, and it just feels really, really good. This one, yeah, it's so lovely on the skin. It is perfect for jeans, trousers, as well as like structured skirts and dresses. You could use it for blazers and jackets. For the cream Etta washed denim, I have gone for the Sienna Maker Jacket by Closet Core Patterns. The details in this pattern are so fun. There's loads of opportunity to play around with different pockets, closures, top stitching details. So views A and B feature slanted hip pockets, and then a wraparound belt with a D-ring closure. View C is a short chore jacket with a button front closure, an optional sleeve pocket, and a back button placket. All of these views have a beautiful notch collar which can be worn open or fully buttoned up, and they have a 2-piece sleeve. So I love all 3 views, but I am partial to the short chore jacket with the sleeve pockets. They're so fun. I have one and I am just like endlessly amused with all the little things I can hide in there. It's a really pretty and unexpected detail. So the printed sienna comes in sizes 0 to 20, which is for hips 33 to 48 inches. Closet Core rates this a 3 out of 4 for involvement. There's nothing particularly tricky about this pattern, but it is more that there's like a lot of details to keep track of. With the flat felled seams and all of the top stitching, it's not going to be a quick project, but that doesn't necessarily make it hard. It just requires some patience. So I love Closet Core's instructions. They're really thorough and I always learn something new. So the Sienna Maker Jacket was designed to be a sturdy chore coat, so you'll want to make sure that you're looking for durable bottom weight fabrics like corduroy, twill, canvas, and denim. This Mind the Maker Etta wash denim is going to be perfect. I love the idea of using some like statement buttons and some contrasting like top stitching thread to kind of tie this cream fabric a little bit more into the collection. So I think like a Kelly green or a fuchsia would give it a really nice fun pop of color. The last sewing project I have for this capsule is of course a dress. So I am so thrilled with this fabric. This print is one of my favorites. It is called the Carnation Carnival. It is from our Minerva exclusive collection, and this one is printed on our organic stretch cotton sateen base. So it is 97% cotton and 3% elastane. The elastic in here just gives it a little bit of give. You'd still sew it just like a regular woven fabric, but it's a really, really luxurious cotton with the satin weave, giving it kind of a little luster, and it has a really good weight to it as well. So a really nice hand to it. I love this red and pink color combination. Pink is such a good color for spring tone folks, and then the darker reds in here give it that high contrast that we're looking for in a print. It still is like very soft and warm, but yeah, really, really good for a nice bold print. It is a really versatile fabric because it is that medium weight. It would be great for trousers and jackets, skirts and dresses, anything that you need a little bit of structure. To go with the Carnation Carnival stretch cotton sateen, I have picked the Lexi dress from Named Clothing. I think the right print with this dress can just be like a total showstopper. I love the A-line silhouette. It is really chic with these clean lines, and it's the perfect canvas for a bold print. So it has darts and some subtle pleats in the skirt, as well as a slightly dropped waist to really achieve that architectural A-line shape. It has close-fitting sleeves and a simple boat neck. It is fully lined and it closes with a zip at the back. The printed Lexi comes in EU sizes 32 to 56, and that covers hips measuring 33 to 55.5 inches. Named rates this one a 3 out of 5 for difficulty. So the darts and the pleats are pretty simple and straightforward, but it does help to have some practice stitching in a lining and an invisible zipper. Lexi works really well with a variety of woven fabrics. If you want kind of a slinkier, softer A-line, fabrics with drape like viscose, tencel, and silk are good options. But if you want to play up the drama of that A-line silhouette, you'll want to look for medium weight fabrics with a bit more structure. So linen, poplin, and a stretch cotton like this one here are going to really like emphasize the structure there. I can see this fabric and that pattern being like such a good, really versatile but bold statement piece in your wardrobe. I think like with some heels and a little like fancy clutch, it could work really well for a like cocktail dress kind of moment, but you could also just throw on some like tights and boots and a blazer for a more like smart office look. I think there's lots of possibilities for a really cool A-line dress in a bright print like this. So those are my picks for sewing up a capsule wardrobe based on the spring color analysis. We sought out colors that are primarily light, bright, and warm, as well as prints that have very high contrast to build a capsule wardrobe full of functional pieces that are versatile and dynamic. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about color theory. I think it's a really fun concept that can help you develop and refine your personal style. I will reiterate though that it is not a set of rules, just some soft guidelines to help build confidence and joy within your sewing practice, as well as how you present yourself outside the sewing room. I'd love to know in the comments what colors bring you joy or help you feel confident in what you wear. If you haven't already, you can join the Minerva community and get to know lots of beautiful makers from all over the world. Plus, signing up does get you 5% to save on your next order. The Minerva community is a really sweet and fun place where you can share your makes and share your sewing journey. We would love to have you here with us. That is everything from me today, but make sure that you are subscribed and following for all the fun sewing content coming up. And until next time, happy making. Bye!